Hi everyone, welcome to another week of Check It Out, where I recommend titles that you can learn from, connect with, and explore. This week's title is Dreams from Many Rivers by Margareta Engel. It is a Hispanic history of the United States told in poems. So the genre of the book would be poetry or nonfiction. This is a sweeping look at over 500 years of Hispanic or Latinx history and culture in the United States in the form of poetry. So there's a variety of perspectives that kind of come together to tell the story. It's a combination of fictional people and real people who actually were part of history, which I think was really interesting. I haven't seen that before. So each poem kind of lays out their part in the chronological history, starting with Puerto Rico in 1491 and going all the way up through today. So it does touch on the political climate of today as part of the modern section. But what I loved about this book was that the format was really unique. I love the illustrations that were part of the poems. So I think that was really cool. It's an easy book to read. It's very short. I read it in just, an hour or two. I loved looking at the illustrations. I thought they really added to it. But while it's a look at history and it does not really dive deeply into historical events, so it really makes for a nice jumping off point. So if you find something in here that you're kind of interested in, you want to learn more about, it's a good opportunity to kind of say, okay, let's look a little deeper into that. For instance, there are people in this book that I didn't really know a whole lot about, like Teresa Carino. She was known as the Piano Girl. And she was actually invited to Abraham Lincoln to play at the White House during Abraham Lincoln's presidency, which I think was really cool and I never knew about. So without reading this book, I wouldn't have known that. And there's just little tidbits like that throughout. So I think that was really neat. And again, just a good book. It is heartbreaking. It does portray some very brutal points in history, so it's something to be aware of. But just a really good book that I wanted to highlight for Hispanic History Month. So I want to suggest my Readalikes. Not Your Princess, Voices of Native American Women. And I really think this book is neat because it's again a kind of a different format. There's some poetry, there's some art, which I think is really neat. So, here's an example of the poetry. It's just this different kind of format of book, which I think is kind of fun. So I want to suggest that one. And then also Lucky Broken Girl by Ruth Baer. And this is about a young girl who moves with her family from Cuba to America. And she kind of has to learn to embrace the American culture, to learn how she fits into it. She does experience a tragedy, and through that tragedy, she gains different perspective and learns about the kindness of her neighbors. So another really great book. So with that, I hope you found something to book up your week. Thanks, everyone.